Hey, doctor, these are the patients who will be calling you today.
Hello? What? No, I can't remember. What? Your mother? Which one is your mother? Wait, hang on, this one. Hello? Hello? 你叫什么名？等一下先。有啦，哎呦，啊 ？No。哎呀 ，hang on 啊。Hello? Yeah. No. The blue one is enough. Chop. Why don't we do it like this? You can join me on a live show where we can chat about this and that. I will try my very best to answer all of your questions. All of your questions answered by this A doctor. So I will see you there on 27th October, 9 p.m. Come and ask me, hey doctor this, hey doctor that. I will answer this, I will answer that. See you. And hello, so here we are, 27th October 2021, 9 p.m. Thank you so much for joining me on this show. This is the very first episode of A Dr. Alex Tan. So here we go. Now, today's topic is all about diabetes, and I hope that you guys have already sent in some questions through Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much. For those of you who have, hi all of you, I can see all of your comments here on this iPad. Now, let's get straight to it, because the first thing that I want to talk about, if I can get my slides up for the Facebook polls, is I was having dinner the other night with some of my friends, and then I realized that many of us with friends who have diabetes, okay, and you watch them order food and you watch them eat, what would you do if your friend with diabetes orders this pancake with this maple syrup dripping down together with an extra large chocolate milkshake, okay? And then when the chocolate milkshake arrives, it's like not sweet enough, so she sends it back and they give a replacement chocolate milkshake with double the chocolate and more cake, which is also chocolate. Right? And your friend with diabetes, what would you do? Would you actually tell your friend, hey, hope that she gives you some, you keep quiet, and hope that she's actually hoping to share it with you? Okay, would you actually take some from her already? That means you don't so bother and then just take some from her, okay? And well, I cannot move forward. Yeah, so pretend everything is awesome, okay? Or you buat muka masam and sort of say, no, I don't approve. So have a think about what you would do in this kind of situation. Or would you do something else, right? Would you actually maybe throw everything onto the floor and sort of say, don't eat any of that, okay? Have a think what you would do, because I think this is a very real situation that many of us will see more and more often. Again, the population of Malaysia is really becoming more and more diabetic, and a lot of it is down to what we eat and how we eat. And I feel it's like people who smoke, people who drink, we should ask them to be responsible. Don't smoke in front of children, don't smoke in front of pregnant ladies, right? And when you drink, don't drink and drive. So when you eat, to what extent do we have to hold our friends responsible? What would you do? Okay, now this is your friend, but what happens if it's your mother? What would you do if it's your mother in this situation ordering sugar like mad? Okay, now coming on to what I'm here to talk about tonight, can diabetes be reversed? And actually, very simple. If you want to log off now, the answer is yes, but please stay on, because it's not just yes, but. And these are very, 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 very big buts, okay? Now, so diabetes can be reversed, But there are a few things that you need to know. Number one, it can come back. Sad face. Number two, not all people with diabetes can have it reversed. Number three, you need to shokubutsu your fat away if you want your diabetes to reverse. What do you mean shokubutsu your fat away? I'll tell you in a short while. And number four, most importantly, don't kena con. And I'll tell you a little bit more about why you can be con when you are trying to reverse your type 2 diabetes. Number one, the big but number one, it can come back. So when we talk about reverse, okay, it's not like it's going to be gone forever. In fact, the word that we use for medical professionals now is that it can actually go in remission. That means it can go backwards, but it's not cured. The thing is, the sugar numbers, the glucose level in your blood can go down, back towards normal. However, if it can go down, it can always go up again as you grow older, if you grow fatter again, okay, if you become unhealthy again, it can actually come back. So when we put you in reverse and in remission, it doesn't mean that it's forever. You still need to keep a close eye on your blood sugar levels. Now, not only can it come back, wait. Chop. Yeah. What do you mean by go into remission? How do you know that actually your diabetes has gone into remission? Well, first of all, there are 3 rules that you need to fulfill. The first rule is that, you need to go back to a normal blood glucose level. Okay, that means your blood glucose, if we look at your HbA1c, for example, you need to be less than 6.5%, right? So definitely you want it to be in remission. Of course, the first thing is your glucose needs to be normal. The second thing is that you have to be without diabetes medication. And the third thing is that you have to be without diabetes medication for at least 3 months. So normal blood glucose level, not taking any medicine for at least 3 months. Now, big but number 2, okay? What you need to know is that not all people with diabetes can go into remission. And people who've had diabetes for a really long time, you're on insulin, for example, you're on multiple medications already, then it's really not going to happen. You're not actually going into remission. The best time for you to go into remission is when you've just been diagnosed. You're only taking 1 medication, okay? And your blood sugar levels are not sky high, not super high, okay? So you can go into remission, but not in all patients with diabetes. If you're very old, if you have had diabetes for a long time, if you're already on insulin, then this is actually going to be a very big but, right? Can diabetes go into remission? Yes, but not if you've had it for a long time, but not if you are already on insulin. And if you have type 1 diabetes, that's also another big but, okay? It's not going to go into remission either. Now, big but number 3 is you need to shokubutsu your fat. Okay, so what is shokubutsu your fat? Means you need to wash your fat away. Everybody knows what shokubutsu is, right? So you need to get rid of your fat, essentially, and not just a little bit. You need to have massive amounts of weight loss. You're talking about losing 20, 30, 40 kilograms to put your diabetes into remission. And usually what this means is undergoing, for example, bariatric surgery to lose weight, an operation to tighten your stomach or to redirect the nutrients in your stomach and bypass absorption so that you lose 20 kilos, 30 kilos, 40 kilos, and then your diabetes goes into remission. If it's not surgery, then you have to do massive dieting and exercising or go onto medications to actually reduce your weight. So you need to really shokubutsu your fat away, and that's a big but number 3, okay? But the biggest but number 4, and why I want to say this, right? Why I prepared this talk is really that you should not be, oops, I just went into, wait, hang on, blank screen. Don't kena con, because out there are so many people who will tell you that they will reverse your diabetes for you. If you buy their book, if you attend their course, if you take this special tablet that they are selling, okay? It's out there, it's international. You can buy these books on Amazon, you can look them up on Google, okay? And you can go to Pasar Malam even and get these cures. But please, 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 don't kena con. This is the biggest but of all, right? The big but number one is, of course, you need to make sure that you lose weight. Okay, that's the key secret to having your diabetes reversed, to having your diabetes go into remission. Okay, it's not about eating apples. It's not about eating periya kata. It's about losing the weight. And this I give to you for free. I'm telling you for free. This is how you actually go into remission. You need to lose weight, and not everybody can go into remission. Remember that. Some people can, especially if you've just been newly diagnosed, but not everybody is able to go into remission. And don't kena con. You see, the problem is these people are selling you hope, and they're taking your money, right? So please, the secret is really simple. You need to lose weight. Okay, you really need to exercise and watch your diet, and that if you manage to lose large amounts of weight, okay, then your diabetes can go into remission. And it doesn't stop there. It can come back. Don't forget that it can actually come back. So therefore, it's something that you need to keep working on for the rest of your life, really, essentially. So don't kena con, because, you know, I used to work in UM, and one of the things in UM is that you can dig into these archives. And here is an archive that I dug up from UM. It was actually in the Star newspaper. March the 12th, 1983 was a Saturday. And this is a world-famous diabetes professor, Professor Paul Zimmet from Melbourne. Okay, he runs the Baker Institute for Diabetes in Melbourne. And he was in Malaysia in March 1983. And he said that we will cure diabetes in the next 10 years. And it came out, Star newspaper article. Okay, we will create a vaccine for diabetes in the next 10 years. People are telling you that, hey, COVID, once you have your vaccine, okay, everything will go down. But look where we are today. So don't kena con. It's not that easy. 1983, they said by 1993, diabetes will be cured. Diabetes will have a vaccine. You see one today, right? So again, you know, can diabetes be reversed? Yes. But, there are all these big buts that you need to be aware of. And the most important one, don't be conned, okay? Now, finally, it's actually, you can sort of think about, can your diabetes be reversed? But it's actually easier to be controlled at the end of the day. So rather than thinking of reversal, why don't you think, right, of being under control? Because it's much easier to actually take medicines, okay, control your diet, okay, and get your diabetes under control, rather than sort of say that, oh, I don't want to take medicines for the rest of my life, okay? But you can go into remission, but it can come back. That's the thing, okay? And you need to lose large amounts of weight. So you need to think about it this way. So if, for example, the only cure for diabetes, right, the only way to treat diabetes, is for you to undergo surgery so that you can lose 40 kilos. Do you think everybody in the world can do that? And then suddenly, right, this is not the only way either. Suddenly somebody comes up with one tablet that helps you not to get cured or not to reverse, but to at least control it. Then you would take that because it's so much easier. So rather than thinking about can it be reversed, the thing is it can be controlled, and it actually can be controlled relatively easily because we have loads of medications nowadays that we can use to treat your diabetes. Okay, now, a lot of you have responded to the post, and what most of you have actually said is, if it was your mother or if it was your friend, you would just make a muka masam, okay? The other thing is, every one of us is so polite, we just make the muka masam, we didn't actually say anything. Some of you actually go ahead and take some. So you would sacrifice your own body for your friend. You would say, okay, I don't want to eat a milkshake and chocolate cake and pancakes, or maybe you do. And so, but I don't want my mom to have her diabetes worse. I will sacrifice my pancreas for her and take some. It's like that kind of a kidney transplant. Will you sacrifice one kidney for your sister? Will you sacrifice one kidney for your brother? So here, you're going to sacrifice your pancreas and say, hey, don't eat so much of that chocolate cake. I will eat it for you instead. Or actually, secretly, maybe you want it instead, right? Okay, so that was really interesting. Have you got any other ways that you would sort of encourage people to eat more healthily when you're out having dinner with them? Put it in the comments. I will acknowledge them, and maybe I'm looking for sort of that kind of answer, that what would be socially acceptable, because we're all in this situation where people order food and we know that maybe it's not the best thing for them, but we don't want to be too pushy either. So what's the best way for us to move forward with this? Okay, so most of you said you would just of course not say everything is awesome. Don't hope that she'll give you some. Some of you actually will take some, but most of you would say you would buat muka masam. Okay, so with that, thank you very much. That is actually the end of my talk. I'm actually also in my pajamas, if you haven't noticed, and yeah, you know, the studio guys want me to show you my unicorn slippers as well. And with that, I would like to say good night.
Hey, doctor! You cannot sleep yet.
Why?
You still have questions to answer.
Oh my God.
Yeah, please read.
Oh, okay. This nurse follows me home one. Okay, so I have so many questions here. First question that you guys posted onto Facebook was, hey doctor, is it genetics or an unhealthy lifestyle that makes people more prone to diabetes? Now, the answer is actually both, okay? So you think about it. So you have some people who are so super huge, right? They eat like nobody's business, okay? Fried kway teow, nasi lemak 3 times a day. They weigh 110 kilos, but they don't have diabetes, okay? And you have some people who are super thin, they eat super healthy, but they do have diabetes because genetically they are more prone to having it, because father and mother both have. So it's actually a bit of both. If you've got parents with diabetes, then you are at risk of diabetes, so you really need to take care of your health. But if you don't have parents with diabetes, you can still eat until like crazy. You just have to be a Malaysian, right? You just have to have a Malaysian diet, eat what you want, and you will actually end up having diabetes. You will be the first in the family to have the diabetes. So the answer to this question, I think it was from Chua Lei Lian, right? Hello, thank you for posting the question. Is that it's both, to be quite honest. How many percentage? It's an individualized thing. For some people, the genetics play a very big part. Okay, for some people, it's the lifestyle that plays a big part for that. So thank you for that question. That was a really good question. So the next one is, hey doctor, can a patient with diabetes eat a bit of durian? Okay. So you have to define first what is your bit, right? Is your bit one seed, or is your bit one durian, or is your bit one whole car boot full of durian? Okay, so generally what we, here's an interesting thing. What we used to say is you can have up to 3 to 4 seeds of durian, and that was about 10 years ago. But you know, in the last 10 years, something was invented to make diabetes worse, and the name starts with M and K. Right, so you got it right, Musang King, because you know these newer genetic breeds of durians are actually sweeter, are actually more rich in carbohydrates. So we have cut it down to 2 seeds of durian. So if you're going to eat these Musang Kings, we will sort of say 2 seeds at most. Okay, some of you are like, yeah, how can lah? But you got to really watch your durian intake, because it is actually going to spike your sugar a lot. What are some tips that will help you to sort of prevent that sugar spike? So you may need to sort of moderate it by mixing it with a little bit of fiber. So if you eat vegetables, you eat a normal meal, and then after that you have a little bit of durian, then all of it mixed together, right? When your bloodstream has to absorb that durian, it has other things to absorb as well. Okay, it has some vegetables to absorb as well. It has some, hopefully, eggs and protein and meat to absorb as well. It has a little bit of oil to absorb as well. That means you have eaten a normal meal, then you eat the durian, right? All these things are queuing up, long queue to be absorbed into your bloodstream. Okay, so therefore it may not spike so much. So that is one tip. If you're on insulin or you're on medication, sometimes you can actually take an extra dose to deal with that durian. What else can you do? You can try to check before you eat the durian and after you eat the durian whether your sugar spikes or not. Okay, so then you're at least able to understand the effect that the durian has on your body. So that I think is a very important tip. If you sort of say, oh, okay, but Dr. Alex said can eat 2 seeds, but is it a big seed, a small seed? You test lah. What you do is you sort of check before eating it, you eat it, right? And then by your next meal, you check and say, wow, you know, before eating it was 4, after eating it, right, before my next meal it was 12, or 2 hours later it's 12. Then you know the effect of it, and you may have to increase your diabetes medicines, or try to find other strategies such as doing exercise or taking it together with a bit of protein and a bit of fat to curb the spike in your sugar readings. So you can, but you got to be really careful and you got to be really, really disciplined. So are you regretting asking that now? But yeah, basically you can. Okay, so that's that. Some of these questions are censored. Cannot. I just cannot answer some of these questions that you guys posted. So, doctor, can sweet talking cause diabetic? Okay, so thank you very much, Jason Go, for this question. Can sweet talking cause diabetic? And this is from one of the fellas in the studio who watched me do another late show called Sweet Talk. Okay, so yeah, Jason Go, sweet talking can cause diabetes. Then you have to come onto the show and I have to inject you with insulin, because I remember, Jason Go, when we tried to give you insulin, you nearly fainted. So yeah, okay, sweet talking can cause diabetes, so you better be careful. Okay, this question, shall I ask or not? Doctor, do you have another handsome doctor to introduce? Okay, so where's my staff? Where's my nurse? Nurse, where are you? Want to introduce you to somebody? Okay, she's showing me some kind of sign. I don't know what sign she's showing me, but it doesn't look good. Okay, anyway, I suppose can lah, right? But this other handsome doctor is a dentist on Facebook and YouTube, know how to dance until very this one and likes handbags one. The one you want or not? So, okay, loads and loads of handsome doctors in Sunway Medical Center. You can come over and choose which one you want, okay? All right, but you have to queue up one, must take number to see handsome doctor, okay? All right. So, okay, thank you for that. This question also terrible. Cannot. Okay, do you recommend using sweeteners as sugar replacement? In general, this is a really difficult difficult question to answer. So if you can, I don't want you to, right? If you can, you got to learn to drink plain water. If you can, you got to learn to drink coffee and tea without sugar. If you can, you got to learn to take just unsweetened beverage, because that's really honestly the most healthy option that you have. Okay. If, however, you still have that craving, what it actually means is that your body, your mind specifically, still wants it. Okay? Still really, really needs that kick. So Coke Zero, Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, Pepsi Max, whatever it is, it's actually your brain still wanting. You are still a penagih gula, right? You still want it. Okay, and that is just the artificial sweetener is just trying to trick your brain. Now, there are actually studies that showed that people who were obese and had diabetes, etc., when they took these artificial drinks, these Coke Zeros and Diet Cokes, etc., okay, they still tended to have worse compared to people who didn't take these sweet drinks. Okay, so you have two groups of people. Both of them have diabetes and they're obese. One group decided to change and sort of say that, hey, look, I'm just going to take unsweetened beverages. Okay, I'm just going to drink plain water, etc. The other group said, oh, never mind, I'll still take these 0-calorie drinks. Okay, these drinks with added pal sweet or equal or whatever have you, right? The group that still wanted that sugar rush feeling, even though it was an artificial sugar, still had worse off diabetes than the group that just took plain water. And this is a published study. Okay? Because what it means is that you haven't made that fundamental change in yourself to sort of say that, hey, I want to be healthier, and so therefore, yes, you do want to be healthier, but you still have this craving, you know. You still have this thing inside of you that says that, hey, I want that sugar rush, I want that sugar kick, and so ultimately it still creeps back into your diet in a certain way. So the best thing is not to take these sugar replacements. However, okay, it's like nicotine gum and perhaps some of these sort of nicotine replacements. Okay, if you need it, right? Because if you don't take it, then you're actually going to be guzzling down 3 liters of the real Coke, the full sugar Coke. Then probably it is better law. Okay, so if you really need that kick, okay, maybe you start taking it, but you need to slowly learn to wean yourself off, right? Now, there are certain tricks that you can use to try to flavor your beverages. So one of the things is the addition of gas. So you can get, it's a bit expensive, a bit atas, but you can get mineral water with bubbles in it one. Okay, so that gives you that sort of carbonated drink kick, but without the sugar. So this is carbonated water without sugar, sparkling water. I think Perrier, that kind of thing. But there are other brands out there that can help. Now, the other thing is to add in, say, a slice of cucumber, add in some mint, add in some lemon. So this gives flavor to your drink without adding calories, without adding sugar. So therefore, yeah, do I recommend it in general? If you can help it, don't. But if you can't help it, then yeah, it's better than the real sugar. But there are these other little tips and tricks that you can use to flavor your drinks so that it's a bit better. The next question that I have, hey doctor, I count my calories during a meal. Does it help to control my blood sugar? So here's the thing, counting calories is good. In general, it'll help you to lose weight, but it may not necessarily help to control your blood sugar, okay? Because if your meal, you count the calories, but it's pure sugar, right? It's pure carbohydrate. That means you're just eating fewer calories, but you don't include protein and you don't include fat into your meal, okay? Then your blood sugar may still spike, okay? So I give you an example. Low-fat yogurt. You buy a brand of yogurt and it says low-fat, yeah? Okay, so yeah, great. No fat, and you know the calorie content inside. But do you know the sugar content? Because what you may be consuming is actually pure sugar, which replaces the fat, gives you good taste, you feel good. However, the sugar can actually spike. So it's quite a sort of a fine point. Calories does not directly equal carbohydrate. Okay, carbohydrate is one source of calories. There's also protein, there's also fat. So if you count your calories, yes, in general, it shows that you're being healthier, that you want to actually control your calories. It's a good thing. You're making an effort to be healthier. However, it may not always directly translate to good blood glucose control. So one thing that you need to be able to read and watch for is, out of those calories, how much of it is carbohydrate, how much of it is actually sugar. So here are a little bit of tips. A bowl of rice, a small flattened bowl of rice, is usually about 45 grams of sugar. If you heap it up, it's about 60 grams, okay? So again, if you were to consume that, you need to be understanding, right, that is a fixed portion, and that if you eat anything more than that per meal, that might really spike your sugar. So thank you for the question. Yeah, if you count your calories, yes, it may help to a certain extent, but if you really, really want to control your sugar, you got to know the carbs that you're eating. Now, what's the next question I have? I am obese. Hey, doctor, I am obese. I find it very hard to lose weight even if I reduce my food intake and exercise. What should I do? Now, you need somebody to help you. Okay? You're not alone. This is actually a super common scenario all over the world, all over Malaysia. The thing about weight is that it is so easy to gain. Really, you just have to sit down and stare at the food and somehow you gain weight, right? Okay? Now, weight is really, really easy to gain. However, we as human beings, we have this sort of program in us that makes us hold on to the weight, right? It's like very kedekut one. Masuk my bank account, very easy. For me to pay you back, very difficult, right? So this is one of the things which is really, really, really true, right? How many calories do you burn by putting a spoon in a bowl and a spoon in your mouth, right? Hardly anything. However, after eating, let's say, 3 cookies, you probably need to run for about 15 minutes. You need to jog for about 15 minutes to burn off. I'm not talking about those huge cookies like this big, right? Just three cookies, just 3 normal sort of average size cookies. You probably need to run about 15-20 minutes to burn off those 3 cookies. So how long did it take you to eat those cookies? 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, okay? And then you have to run for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to burn off that same calories, okay? Now, there are many tips and tricks to reducing your food intake and not feeling hungry, okay? And there are many tips and tricks to get the most out of your exercise. However, right, sometimes you do need a bit of guidance. You do need a bit of professional help. It's not to say that you're undisciplined. Sometimes you do need to come to see a doctor. You may need a dietitian to advise you, to recognize where it is in your diet. A good dietitian, right, will actually sit down with you, understand what your life is like, understand what your diet is like, what your food preferences are, and what your day-to-day job is like. Do you eat breakfast at home and then you're forced to eat lunch in the canteen in the office, and then when you come back late at night, it's so late you don't have energy to cook, you have to get food panda and grab? Okay, is that you? Then a good dietitian will actually look at that and factor those things in and help you to make better changes and food choices. Quite often, it's small, little, tiny things in your diet that can change, that will help to reduce the calories in your food so that you can start losing weight. Now, exercising safely is also another issue. You may need professional help in order to reduce that, to increase your physical activity safely. Don't hurt yourself. So again, this may require professional help. Now, one of the other factors is also, you mentioned diet, your food intake, as well as exercise. And many people feel that weight, right, is just these 2 things alone, right? It's a very simple equation, isn't it? It's just like how much I eat goes in, how much I burn goes out. And if what I eat is in excess of what goes out, then I gain weight. But if I were to reverse it so that if what I exercise is in excess of what I eat, okay, then I should lose weight. However, it actually isn't that easy. As an endocrinologist, here's what I can tell you. There are times where what you eat is more absorbed and it makes you even more fatter, okay, depending, say, on the time of the day. So one thing which is shown to be true, if you eat really late at night, when you're supposed to be asleep, you put on more weight compared to if you were to eat the same meal in the afternoon or in the morning, okay? This is something quite different now, what they call chrononutrition, time-based nutrition. So you know all those people, all those, these England people, they sort of say, eat breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, and dinner like a pauper, right, or a beggar, right? That actually has some truth to it. All these old wives' tales has some truth to it. Because if you eat a lot at the start of the day, right, most of it gets burnt, the absorption is better, etc. Then you reduce the amount that you take at lunch and you eat hardly anything at night, okay? That tends to help you with your weight control. So it's not just about the amount that you eat, it's also what time you eat it, okay? Now, the other thing as well is when you're under stress, right? When you're under stress, there are certain hormones. For example, one of them is called cortisol. And these hormones, when you're stressed, so when you're big projects, you're preparing for a live Facebook talk show, you're munching on potato chips as a result, okay? Guess what? Your body will transform into a fight or flight mode. And this fight or flight mode is not the same like adrenaline where a cobra drops down and then suddenly you have this big spike of adrenaline and you want to fight. This kind of long-term stress, the kind of stress that you get when you don't sleep properly, okay, it actually makes your body hang on to calories more, okay? It's really weird, right? You kind of think, hey, what? But you find that a lot of stressed people, they put on weight a lot more easily. And that's one of the things, right? Your hormones in the body could be doing that as well. Okay, so what do? You come and see a doctor, or you go and see a doctor. It doesn't have to be me, right? You can go and see a doctor and say, hey, are my hormones in order or not? For example, your thyroid hormone, your cortisol hormone, is it in order? Okay, and yeah, you need to sort those things out. Now, if you want to lose weight also, you want to make sure you try and embark on your weight loss program with your doctor, with your dietitian, with your exercise physiologist, in a time where you're not really stressed from, say, exams or work or moving house or having a divorce, etc. Because these are really difficult times. And if you want to be successful in your weight loss, okay, this is another tip that I can give you. Do it at a time where as much stress as you have in your life, it's to one side already and you can really focus on your weight. So this is another tip that I can give you. Another thing, right? I'm talking a lot about this because there's a lot to talk about. We should have an episode on this. Tell me if you want to talk a little bit more about weight management, or if there's anything else that you want to talk about, right? Put it in the comments and I will put it in the next episode, whenever that next episode will be. Hopefully got new next episode lah, right? Yeah, a lot of work has gone into me and sort of, yeah, these guys sort of thinking better be worth it. Now, where was I? Yeah, make sure you sleep properly as well. So again, because this is one of the things, if you have poor sleep hygiene, you have poor dental hygiene, you have poor body hygiene, right? Okay, so you make sure you shower, you make sure you brush your teeth, you make sure you sleep properly. Because if you have poor sleep hygiene, okay, what then happens is, yeah, you will actually get an increase in your stress hormone levels, and you will actually put on weight more. When you don't sleep at night and you don't sleep properly, okay, what then happens is you use that time, instead of sleeping, you go and eat. Okay, and then it disturbs your internal rhythms and your clocks, your circadian rhythms, and all your hormones go upside down. Okay, and then you put on weight more easily. So make sure you get enough sleep. And then the final tip that I'm actually going to give you is sometimes you need a little bit of medication to kickstart weight loss. Okay, there are medications out there that can help you with weight loss. Okay, and sometimes even beyond medication, you may need surgery, and that's like really extreme cases, but the surgery definitely works. Cost is an issue with these surgeries, and you have to be fit enough to undergo these surgeries, so you need a medical professional to guide you through. I will give you how I think about it. You want to lose weight? F is for food. You got to control the food. A is for activity. You got to increase your activity. This part you know, right? And you may need professionals to help you and guide you to do these things safely. S is for sleep and stress, right? All those hormones and things that I was talking about. If you don't sleep properly, if you're under lots of stress, you will find it harder to lose weight. And T finally is for treatment. Treatment means you have to see a doctor. Treatment is medications to help you kickstart that weight loss. It's not forever that we give you the medications, okay? Helps you to kickstart the weight loss and at least start you on a journey towards better health and weight loss. And finally, T for treatment also includes, of course, surgery for some individuals if you have extremely high level of weight, you're obese, you're morbidly, what we call morbidly obese. So FAST, if you want to lose weight, you gotta fast. Okay, so I think I have more questions on the iPad. Okay. Add to queue. How does this work? Medication for weight loss I need. Okay, FSBI. come and see me, lor, if you need. Okay. Yes, please, weight management, Elaine SBC. Okay, thank you for your comment. So it seems like weight management is something. Actually, I've already sort of given so many things on weight management, but yeah, we can definitely do an episode on weight management. Okay, follow our Facebook page for future updates. Okay, so here we are. Click on the link, get on the link. Okay. Hey, hi, Sharon. Okay, Sharon Tan, my friend, saying talk about hyperthyroidism. Sure, no problem, right? Near and dear topic, the thyroid, sure. And Chua Lei Lian, blame the weight on the hormones. Yeah, so I'm a hormone specialist. Yes, so it's important when you're starting on your weight loss journey, right? Okay, you want to make sure your hormones are in order. Go and see your doctor and get it tested. Because if your hormones are not in order, then you're really fighting against your own body to try to lose the weight. Okay, what else have we got? Careful, I'm English. Ha ha ha. What? Careful, I'm English. Ha ha ha. Okay. Hello, English. Yeah. Okay. So, how much sugar does a person need to maintain enough energy for the day? Now, okay. This is a very, very variable question, and it's not about how much sugar you need. It's actually about how much energy you need. And so this is like a medical school lecture. I'll try and make it as simple as possible. Peter Chu, thank you for your question. It's about how many calories that you need, and the calories that you need can come from sugar and carbohydrates, right? Carbohydrates is the sort of so you think about this. Calories is like Malaysia, okay? Carbohydrates is like Selangor, and sugar is like Petaling Jaya. Get it? Okay, so how much you need, okay, is the whole country of Malaysia. You look at the calories. One of the states of Malaysia, the biggest state of Malaysia, is carbohydrates. And one of the subgroups of carbohydrates is, in a way, sugar. Because carbohydrates, sugar, everybody thinks is the sweet things. Oh, Coca-Cola, chocolate cake, right? 1 spoon of sugar, 2 spoons of sugar, etc. But carbohydrates, noodles, bread, pasta, rice, okay, potatoes, right? These are carbohydrates, and this gives you energy, but there are also alternative sources of energy. So energy can come also from protein, from meat, from tofu, from eggs. These don't contain any sugar, right? Okay, but they can give you energy, okay, and also from some from fat. So if you eat large amounts of fat, yeah, actually that can give you energy as well. So the question should be, how many calories does a person need to maintain for per day? So it actually depends. What they actually say is that for females about 1,500, for males about 2,000 kilocalories per day. But again, this is highly variable because it depends also what kind of job you do, what kind of size you are. So for example, if you are a 6-foot Olympic swimmer, okay, and you swim 400 laps in the swimming pool per day, you could require up to 10,000 kilocalories. And this is true. You can Google this. Olympic swimmer diet, and you'll see that 2 large pizzas, 3 chickens, 4 liters of Coca-Cola. They can eat all of that and not gain weight. In fact, if they only ate that, they might lose weight for the amount of exercise that they do. So do you work in a construction site? Okay, do you walk up and down in the jungle every day? So again, but for most people who have a sedentary lifestyle, like most people are, okay, it's a bit between 1,500 to 2,000, sometimes pushing up to 2,500 kilocalories. And the way you break that down, if you want to be healthy, is that the majority of that should come from carbs, some of it should come from protein, and a little bit should come from fats, what we call the Malaysian healthy plate. Not the typical Malaysian diet, the Malaysian healthy plate. So thank you very much, Peter Chu, for that question. It's important to know. Okay. Joyce, yap. No sugar. Coffee without sugar, I will die. Hey, hi Joyce. How are you, Mrs. Yap? Thank you for joining the show. And thank you for asking your niece's father to come and see me, right? Okay, yeah. So I saw him. Yeah, coffee without sugar, you will die. No lah, Joyce, you won't die one lah. Ayo, come, you drink coffee with me. I teach you how to drink coffee without sugar. There are ways to make your coffee still tasty without sugar. Okay. Oh my God. Old people cannot run leh. Did I say old people should run? So FSBI, thank you for putting so many comments here. Old people cannot run. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I have a 95-year-old grandmother and she definitely cannot run. But yeah, old people, it is different. And that's why sometimes you have to see a professional when it comes to doing exercise as well as diet, because you need somebody to make it personalized. I think many of the things in medicine nowadays, especially in my field, is that it's not one size fits all, especially when it comes to diabetes, especially when it comes to weight management. There are certain diseases in medicine that it can be one size fits all one. For example, if you have a broken bone, okay, the operation is the same. If you need to take your appendix out, the operation is the same. If you need to take your gallbladder out, right, the operation is more or less the same, okay? However, there are certain things that you need to be tailor-made and it needs to be personalized. And so this is a good example. If you have old people, you cannot tell old people you go and buy protein shake, okay? I still remember when I was working in UM, right, we had this lady who underwent surgery, and then one of the doctors there, I'm not going to say who, okay, came and sort of said that you need to go and buy this list of protein powders for you to build up your muscle in order for you to have a successful surgery. So the grandson went and bought exactly according to the list which was given him. And then he bought it, one whole big tub of protein powder. He put it next to her bed. Now this is a skinny 85-year-old Malay makcik. And when I went into her room the next day, she looked so sad. And she said, "Doctor, you nak saya minum protein ini." And there was on that big tub there a picture of somebody who looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger doing this. So there was a big muscle man on the tub, okay? And she was looking at that big muscle man and looking at herself. So you really have to personalize how you approach exercise and diet sometimes, and it's best done through a professional. And we are used to now personalizing medicine for you. Okay, 2 seats MK per day. So FSBI, yeah. To be quite honest, right, 2 seats of Musang King per meal, right? So you can have it actually up to 3 times a day, okay, as part of a mixed meal, so not your only meal. So did I just make you more happy, FSBI? Okay. Next question. Hey doc, where did you get your unicorn slippers? Actually, it was bought for me from by Abby Low, who's one of the studio producers here. Thank you very much, Abby. Yeah, okay. Actually, it's doesn't quite fit me, but anyway, they make me wear it. And they make me wear pajamas. Can you imagine? They say, "Oh, it'll be so funny, Dr. Alex, you wear pajamas." And actually, I brought my pagoda white shirt, but they said white background against the studio cannot, so I have to wear grey shirt. Okay. Swing Tan Lo. Hey, wait, that's not Swing Tan Lo, that's Gal Gadot. No, okay, I need durians, I cannot live. Yeah, whatever. I know you didn't eat durian today, Swing Tan Lo, okay, but you're still alive, okay? If you cannot live without durians, then when it's out of season, how? Die lah, okay? You will swing to death, okay? Okay, right. Jamie Low, hashtag Shokubutsu, you're fat. I like it. All right. Okay, so Jamie Low, yeah, we can actually approach Shokubutsu to sponsor this show. Shokubutsu, you're fat, right? You bathe already, not only you smell nice, but you grow thinner, as if. Okay, so Swing Tan Low, okay. Doctor Free Clinic, yeah. Talking to you for free, man. All you need to do is pay for your Wi-Fi and your data plan, I guess. What is the next one? I will advise on the sugar content in food. Yeah, no, this is great. But actually, even easier, Jessie Nightingale, Hello Kitty nurse, is that if you want to know the sugar content in your food, right, it's really simple. It's really simple. Honestly, my patients with diabetes, this is what I teach them. You ask, and this is the one time that I would advise this. Okay, this is the only time that I'll ask you to see this particular doctor. You ask Dr. Google. That simple. Okay, so I show you, for example. All right, what shall we talk about in terms of sugar? I will go onto Dr. Google now, and let's take something really rare and exotic. Okay, durian. So not rare and exotic, but what you do is you type in carb count durian, okay, and you can do this with me and check whether your Google is the same as me, okay, and it will actually show you that it's actually 66 grams carbs. Now, what you then have to figure out is this 66 gram, is it talking about the whole fruit? Is it talking about 1 seed, 2 seeds, 3 seeds, etc.? So what you actually need to do is you need to just use Dr. Google. It will give you the sugar content of most foods. But here's the limitation. When you try and carb count individual foods like, say, an apple, a durian, a bun, a slice of bread, a bowl of rice, is usually quite easy one. But I tell you something about Malaysia. It's damn difficult. Can I say that? Are there children on this show? I just said damn. Okay. So anyway, yeah. It is difficult in Malaysia. Okay, because you can put there carb count rojak. Google will probably give you an answer. But your rojak from Subang Jaya and your rojak from, I don't know, Kelantan, I bet you the carb count is going to be different. So it's kind of difficult to gauge, because the source of the rojak, one guy puts in 10 spoons of sugar, the other guy puts in 5 spoons of sugar, okay, and 2 spoons of honey. So again, sugar content in food sometimes is a bit of agak-agak. Dr. Google is good enough for individualized foods, but when it comes to things like, even, never mind rojak, why don't you just say pasta, right? The pasta in Bon Appetit restaurant versus the pasta in Champignon restaurant, same order, right? Let's say, what do you call that? Bolognese sauce, spaghetti bolognese. Spaghetti bolognese in restaurant A versus restaurant B can be totally different sugar contents one. That's the difficulty. So sometimes what you may need to do is you may need to remember, if I eat spaghetti bolognese from that restaurant versus I eat spaghetti bolognese from that another restaurant, what is the effect ultimately on my sugar? And the way to know that is to actually check before you makan and after you makan. A bit mafan lah, but that's how you, if you want to know, not so much what is the content, but actually how much is in it. Okay. Now, okay, doctor having free clinic, another late show. Eat on your friend's behalf. Don't let her eat. And I think we have a few more questions here. So early wearing pajama. No lah, it's late for me already lah, my dear Jessie Nightingale. I'm not going to post it up. But yeah, they make me one. I've been wearing pajamas here since 8. Yeah. But kind of at home, I kind of wear pretty early as well. So what else do we have? Hey, Wong Wei Wei. How come you know I'm on this show? Growth hormones for children. Okay, possibly we can talk about that. Joyce Yap is saying, hi Joyce, can quitting sugar reverse aging? Okay. Dr. Google, my mom's second favorite. Hello, Li Kui. Esther Teo, hello, Teo Gek Swan. How are you? Okay. Can a patient who's no longer allowed to donate blood due to diabetes, hypertension, and dyslipidemia on medication for these diseases be allowed to be an organ donor? Okay, yeah. So again, it depends on the state of your organs, okay? So put it this way lah, you ever donate old clothes to all of these recycling centers or not? But if your clothes already got holes, already got infested with all sorts of insects and other animals are making a home in your shoes, etc., how to donate? Okay, so if you have diabetes, hypertension, dyslipidemia, many times you can still donate. However, it also depends on your native function of your organ. So before you pass away, sorry to be so morbid lah. Okay, sometimes you need to know the conditions of the organs lah. So again, this is a great question. Thank you for asking this. Zajux, hello, Angela. Would love to hear how to increase metabolic rate. Makin tua, makin gemuk, early 20s, ate ramen, KFC, frequently still slim. Wait, now at late 30s, 40s. Oh, I see. Okay, so when you're early 20s, you ate everything in the world, still thin. Now your drinking water also can gain weight. So yeah, actually it's true that as you grow older, your metabolic rate does actually slow down. And this is one of the things that your body becomes more kedekut and wants to hold on to its weight. So yeah, if you find out, Angela, Anthony, okay, if you find out how to stay forever young, I'm going to invite you on this show. Okay, you can join me on this show and share your secret how to eat KFC ramen and still remain 20 years old. Okay, and by the way, I think your picture got filter one, right? Stay young forever, man. Zajux. Okay, Angela. Okay, so I'm so sorry. These guys here, you can blame it on them. They are showing me all these messages to say wrap up, wrap up, wrap up. I think their TV running, their camera running out of battery already. But actually, it's been great. Thank you for all your questions. I will keep trying to answer as many as possible. Even after they start showing me all these messages to wrap up, I sort of keep sharing. But type your suggestions. What you want me to talk about next? What are those burning questions about your health that you would like to know? And as you can see, I will do my very, very best. To me, right, I just give this reverse diabetes lecture. It's just a sort of an excuse to talk lah. At the end of the day, I think the important thing to me is that your questions are actually answered. So I actually look forward to the next episode, whenever that will be. They will say in roughly about 2 weeks' time. Haven't settled a date yet. So disorganized I am. But yeah, once we get a date, watch this space on Facebook and Instagram and sort of let me know what you want me to talk about next. And I will answer all of your questions. So with that, with the permission of my nurse, I'm going to say good night. Bye-bye. See you on the next one.
Hey, doctor! Good night.
Good night.